Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS. This is 26th of October 2021 and we are back with your next daily quiz. Question number 1 on your screen is this. Consider the following statements with regards to Dada Saheb Phalke Awards and choose the correct ones. Number 1. The award is named after Dhundiraj Govind Phalke, regarded as the father of Indian cinema. Second, Dada Saheb Phalke Award was introduced by the government in 1969 and it was awarded for the first time to Devika Rani, the first lady of Indian cinema. Third, Dada Saheb Phalke directed India's first feature film called Raja Harishchandra in 1913. Which of these given statements is or are correct? A very fact heavy question. The correct answer here is D. All the three given statements are absolutely correct. Dundiraj Govind Phalke, also known as Dada Saheb Phalke, is regarded as a father of Indian cinema and the man behind India's first feature film, that is Raja Harishchandra. The reason why we are asking this question is because yesterday, in a ceremony organized by Directorate of Film Festivals, the National Film Awards were presented. The Directorate of Film Festivals is an organization set up by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. The Dadasaheb Phalke Award is India's highest award in the field of cinema and is given for outstanding contribution to the growth and development of Indian cinema. This award was presented to the famous actor Rajnikant. With this award, the winner gets a medallion, a shawl, and a cash prize of 10 lakh rupees. The other awards in the National Film Awards ceremony were given to Dhanush and Manoj Bajpayee for the Best Actor, Kangna Ranaut for the Best Actress, and others. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements with regards to the National Commission for Scheduled Caste in India. Number 1. It is a constitutional body set up under the provisions of Article 338A of the Indian Constitution. Second, the Commission is also required to discharge similar functions with regards to the Anglo Indian community as it does with respect to the scheduled castes. Third, its functions include monitoring and investigating all issues concerning the safeguards provided for scheduled caste under the Indian Constitution. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer to this question is C. That is, the first statement is wrong. Why is the first statement wrong? It is a constitutional body, that part is right, but the article number here should be 338. 338A actually is an article that refers to the formation of National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. As you know, these two commissions used to be one single body before they were bifurcated in 2004 and separate commissions were created for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Since then, Article 338 has provisions for National Commission for Scheduled Caste, while Article 338A has provisions for National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Both of these commissions, as you know, have a chairperson. Apart from that, there is a vice chairperson and there are three members. So, a total of five members are in each of these commissions. The reason why we are asking this question is because of this news in the Hindu newspaper today, which is about the killing that recently happened at the Singhu border, where a scheduled caste person was killed during the ongoing farmer protest. The National Commission for Scheduled Caste has given a statement saying that they will look into the matter and they will make sure that the family of the deceased person is looked after. Moving on to the third question. Consider the following statements with regards to the production of rubber. Number 1. Kerala is a top producer of rubber amongst all the Indian states. Second, recently the world's first genetically modified rubber plant developed by Rubber Research Institute was planted in Assam. Third, Rubber Board, headquartered at Kottayam, Kerala, under the administration of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, is responsible for the development of rubber industry in the country by assisting and encouraging research, development, extension, and training activities related to rubber. Which of these given statements is incorrect? You have to choose the incorrect one, and that is why the answer is D, because all the given statements here are absolutely correct. Kerala is indeed the top producer of rubber amongst all the Indian states, while the world's first genetically modified rubber plant was recently planted in Assam. Now, the reason why we are asking this question is because of this article in the Hindu newspaper today, which talks about the fact that the rubber production in India is unfortunately on a decline because of extremely heavy rains, which have impacted the production in Kerala and other states as well. Meaning that in the coming months, the Indian government will be looking to import rubber from nations such as Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand. Production of rubber usually requires humid climate with a temperature range of 25 to 35 degrees Celsius, well distributed rainfall throughout the year of over 200 centimeter, and ideally daily rainfall followed by a strong sun. Moving on to the next question, question number 4. Which of the given statements is not true with regards to Piprahava relics? Number 1. They were gifted to Sri Lanka by the Indian government 141 years ago. Second, the relics include bone fragments, ashes, and pieces of jewels of Buddha. Third, the relics are kept at Vaskaduva Viraya in Sri Lanka. And fourth, none of the above. You had to tell which of these is not true. The correct answer here is D, since all the above three statements given are absolutely true. The reason why we are asking this question is because of this news in the Indian Express newspaper. You would have read a few days back Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated an airport at Kushinagar, which is a part of the ongoing Buddhist Circuit project. The inaugural flight from Kushinagar was between Colombo and Kushinagar, in which 123 member Sri Lankan delegation came to India. When they came to India, they brought with themselves the famous Peprava relics of Buddha. These relics stayed in India for 6 days, and they include bone fragments, ashes, and pieces of jewels of Buddha. Not just this, the Indian government gave a status of state guest to these relics. If you look at the history of this, it was about 141 years ago that these relics were handed over to Sri Lanka as a token of friendship and gratitude. These relics will now be going back to Sri Lanka. Moving on to the next question, which is a previous year question from the year 2019. Consider the following statements. According to the Indian Patents Act, a biological process to create a seed can be patented in India. Second, in India, there is no intellectual property appellate board. Third, plant varieties are not eligible to be patented in India. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer here is C. That is, a third statement is correct while the first two are wrong. The second statement was pretty easy to solve. There is, in fact, an intellectual property appellate board in India, while the first statement is wrong because of Article 3, Subpart J of this particular act, which says that plants and animals in whole or any part thereof other than microorganisms, but including seeds, varieties, species, essentially biological processes for production and propagation of plants and animals, cannot be patented under this law. The Intellectual Property Appellate Board was set up in the year 2003 by the Government of India in order to resolve the appeals which are made under this particular law. Time now to move on to the fact of the day today, and we have a pretty interesting fact, all thanks to this article in the Indian Express newspaper of today. It talks about Queen Hyohang Oke of Korea and her Ayodhya connection. Now, the article tells you that she was actually the daughter princess of Ayodhya's king Padmasen and his wife Indumati. The original name of the queen was Queen Suri Ratna. It is said that at the age of 16 she traveled to Korea and married Kim Suro, who was a founder and king of Guemgam Gaya in southeastern Korea. It is said that the queen's father had a dream about his daughter marrying the king of Korea, and that is why King Padma Sen sent her to Korea on a boat. She thus became the first queen of Gyeongbam Gaya. In fact, it is said that Kim Yon Ok, that is a wife of former South Korean president, was a direct descendant from the queen's family only. In fact, that is why many Koreans still visit Ayodhya specifically to visit the ancestral home of their queen. It is said that when the queen first came to Korea on a boat, she brought with herself a pagoda in order to calm the sea gods in her long journey. That pagoda is still kept next to the tomb that is built in a memorial park in Korea. Extending the relationship between the two nations, in the year 2000, India and South Korea government signed an agreement to develop Ayodhya and Gimhi, that is the place where the queen lived, as sister cities. The reason why this article is covered in the Indian Express today is because the government of India is undertaking a beautification exercise for Ram Katha Park on the banks of the Saryu River in Ayodhya. It will be inaugurated on the 4th of November, and the new space will be known as Queen Hyo Hoang Ok Memorial Park, named after this Korean and Indian queen. A pretty interesting article that you should read from today's Indian Express. Thank you so much for watching the video.